As usual, before I go to church, let me do a posting, an update. The question was made aware to me recently. Can women preach? Someone quoted 1 Timothy 2, the second chapter, verses 11 to 12, where St. Paul, writing to Timothy at the church of Ephesus, says, women should listen and learn quietly and submissively. I do not let women teach men or have authority over them. So on the surface, this sounds very misogynist, and it sounds like a blanket prohibition on women preaching. So is this a blanket prohibition on women speaking or preaching in church? 1st and 2nd Timothy were two letters written by St. Paul to young Timothy. He was very concerned with Timothy. Timothy was given the leadership at Ephesus. Ephesus was a huge cosmopolitan church, which means a challenge for a young preacher, and he was very concerned. These two letters, they are both very poignant and serves even today as instructions to young church leaders. Indeed, at this time, the original apostles were all close to martyrdom, and the next generation is being raised to serve as new leaders. It is obvious in this case, St. Paul didn't think the women in the church at Ephesus were mature enough. St. Paul in no way forbid women to preach if they were mature enough in their theological knowledge. We know this. How? We know this from the epistle to the Romans. This letter was entrusted to Phoebe, a woman, who is not only to deliver the letter to the church in Rome, but to read it also and possibly to answer questions. Romans 16, 1-2 says, and St. Paul writes to the Roman church, our sister Phoebe, a deacon in the church in Cenchrea, will be coming to see you soon. Receive her in the Lord as one who is worthy of high honor. Help her in every way you can, for she has helped many in their needs, including me. So here he is saying that Phoebe is coming with a letter, and she's a deacon. A deacon. What's a deacon? What's the job of a deacon? How do we know that deacons also preached? In the book of Acts, 7 deacons were picked to help distribute assistance to the new converts. Of them, we were told that 2 of them were powerful preachers, Philip and Stephen. Philip went to evangelize to Samaria and single-handedly converted the whole of Samaria. He was led by the Holy Spirit to preach to the Ethiopian eunuch who became baptized with water and the Holy Spirit. We can only speculate that the eunuch went home to preach powerfully there, because we know there are lots of Christians in Ethiopia. St. Stephen's preaching was so powerful that he incurred the ire of the Jewish authorities, who had him stoned to death, making him the first Christian martyr. St. Paul, in many ways and oftentimes, been criticized by modern people like us because of our lack of complete information. So if we take St. Paul out of context, it wouldn't seem like he is misogynist and he forbids women from preaching, but far from it. That's not the real St. Paul. If we have to read the entire New Testament, we have to read the entire Acts of the Spirit, the book of Acts, and we have to read the entire epistle of St. Paul in order to get a rough idea of this incredible apostle. And I pray that you would too. This series is to be read. You have to read the Bible on your own. Maybe on the subjects I've touched on, read Romans, read Acts, and read all the epistles of St. Paul. I hope it has blessed you, because it has blessed me. Thank you.